Have you ever heard of Bigfoot? You know, that mythical creature said to live in the dense forests of the Pacific Northwest? The story of Bigfoot is fascinating and full of mysteries. From the ancient legends of Native American peoples to modern accounts of giant sightings and footprints, this enigmatic figure has intrigued and enchanted people for generations. Let's explore this incredible legend in 3 parts: his origins, the sightings and evidence, and how he became an iconic figure in popular culture. Ready to dive into this story full of enigmas? So, let's start with Part 1: the origins of myth. So let's start from the beginning. The myth of Bigfoot, or Sasquatch as it is also known, has its roots very deep. The first stories about this creature come from the legends of the Native American peoples of the Pacific Northwest region, which covers parts of the United States and Canada. These people had several stories about a tall, hair-covered human-looking creature that lived in dense forests and remote mountains. They described her as an elusive, mysterious being and often considered a guardian of nature. Each tribe had its own version of the story. For example, the Salish spoke of the Saskais, which means wild man in their language. To them, the Sasquatch was a powerful and respected creature. Other tribes had different names and variations in stories, but they all share the idea of a giant creature, half human, half animal, that inhabited the most isolated places. Now, talking about when these stories started to gain attention in the Western world, it was in the 19th century. European explorers and settlers who ventured into these regions began to hear the stories of the natives and eventually began to report their own encounters with something they could not explain. Reports of sightings of a large hairy creature began to emerge, along with descriptions of enormous footprints found in remote areas. These early Western reports are a mix of fascination and fear. Imagine in those dense forests, without the resources we have today, and suddenly coming across giant footprints or seeing a big hairy shadow moving between the trees. It must have been an experience both terrifying and intriguing. Thus, the story of Bigfoot began to come to life in the popular imagination, mixing the ancient legends of the natives with the new reports of the explorers. And this is just the first part of this fascinating journey through the history of Bigfoot. Ready to continue? Now that you know the origins of the Bigfoot myth, let's talk about the sightings and evidence that has fueled this legend over the years. During the 20th century, interest in Bigfoot grew significantly, mainly because of reports from people who swore they had seen this mysterious creature. Everything got even more interesting in 1967, when 2 men, Roger Patterson and Robert Gimlin, filmed something that is still considered one of the most famous pieces of evidence of Bigfoot. They were in California, in an area known as Bluff Creek, when they captured on video a tall, hairy figure walking through the clearing. This video, known as the Patterson-Gimlin film, shows a creature that closely resembles the description of Bigfoot, a large bipedal figure covered in fur. Of course, the film generated a lot of controversy. Some experts and scientists believe it is a hoax, while others think it could be real evidence. The fact is that since then, more and more people have started reporting sightings of similar creatures. Lumberjacks, hunters and hikers in rural and mountainous areas of the United States and Canada continue to encounter giant footprints, hear strange sounds, and occasionally see something that fit Bigfoot's description. In addition to the famous Patterson and Gimlin film, there were several other pieces of evidence that kept the myth alive. Huge footprints found in remote places, recordings of strange sounds that some believe are called Bigfoot, and even reports of close encounters with the creature. Each of these stories adds a little more mystery and fascination to the legend. Just imagine, you're camping in a dense forest at night and suddenly you hear a distant scream, something that doesn't sound like any known animal. Or while walking, you come across a series of giant footprints on the ground. These experiences are what make people continue to believe and seek proof of Bigfoot's existence. And it is this continuous flow of reports and evidence that keeps the legend of Bigfoot alive and ever present in popular culture. It's as if we're all participating in a great treasure hunt, trying to find out if this creature really exists or if it's just a figment of our imagination. Ready to learn how Bigfoot became an iconic figure in popular culture? Let's move on to the next part. But first, I need to ask you. Are you enjoying? Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos and leave a like. So we've already seen how native legends and sightings reports fueled the history of Bigfoot. Now let's talk about how this mysterious creature became a true celebrity in popular culture. From the 1960s and 1970s onward, Bigfoot began appearing more and more in the media. The famous Patterson-Gimlin film was shown on television programs, discussed in newspapers and magazines, and soon Bigfoot's figure was everywhere. Movies and documentaries about Bigfoot began emerging, exploring the possibility of its existence and recounting stories of eerie encounters. A classic example is the 1972 film The Legend of Boggy Creek, which blends documentary and fiction to tell the story of sightings of a creature resembling Bigfoot in Arkansas. In the 1980s and 1990s, Bigfoot solidified as an iconic figure. Television shows like In Search of and Unsolved Mysteries dedicated entire episodes to the Bigfoot mystery, featuring eyewitness accounts and analyses of alleged evidence. These stories capture the public's imagination and kept interest in Bigfoot alive. But it didn't stop there. The creature also entered the world of advertising and entertainment in a lighter, more humorous way. You've probably seen Bigfoot in commercials, cartoons, and even video games. It appears in advertising campaigns, often as a funny or friendly figure, reinforcing its presence in popular culture. For example, commercials for companies like Jack Link's Beef Jerky used Bigfoot in humorous campaigns, showing it interacting with humans in comedic ways. More recently, Bigfoot gained even more exposure with television shows like Finding Bigfoot, which premiered in 2011. This show followed a team of researchers and enthusiasts traveling across the United States in search of evidence of Bigfoot's existence. Although they never found conclusive evidence, the show was a major success and contributed to keeping the Bigfoot myth alive in the public's mind. Additionally, Bigfoot is a recurring theme at cryptid conventions and enthusiast gatherings, where people from around the world come together to share stories, theories, and even organize expeditions in search of the creature. Such events demonstrate how the legend of Bigfoot has become an important part of mystery and adventure culture. Despite all the attention and countless searches, the scientific community remains skeptical. Most experts consider Bigfoot a myth, resulting from misunderstandings, hoaxes, or a combination of both. However, popular fascination with Bigfoot has not diminished. Many people still believe in the possibility that this enigmatic creature may be hidden somewhere, waiting to be discovered. And so, Bigfoot continues to be a symbol of mystery and adventure, a legend that challenges our understanding of the natural world and reminds us that there is still much to be explored. The story of Bigfoot invites us to keep our curiosity alive and never stop searching for the unexplained. So, what do you think? Could Bigfoot be out there, waiting to be discovered? So that's today's video. I hope you liked it. See you in the next story.